Hello and welcome to another video from oorail. This video continues our BR terminology series with a look at Mk2 coaches. Mk2 coaches were built from an entered service from 1964 onwards. There are a couple of variants. They're from the Mk2A to the Mk2F. These were built over a number of years from 1967 to 1975. There were a total of 1,876 built. There are slightly less number of variants than there are with the Mk1. They still had the corridor and the open plan variants. So if you haven't watched our Mk1 video, I'll briefly recap it. There's a lot more detail in that particular video. A corridor coach is denoted by the code letter K, and a corridor coach basically is a coach that's got a number of compartments. You're probably familiar with ones with sliding doors and so on. There's basically a corridor that runs along the length of the coach that interconnects the compartments. And that is a corridor coach. And again, it's denoted with the letter K. And then you have an open plan coach, which is what we're all pretty much familiar with, where there's no compartments, there's just seating on both sides and a corridor down the center of the coach. And these are designated with the letter O for open. Again, there's two types of classes. You have first class and second class. Second class is also denoted as a tourist mode. So instead of just having an SO coach with the Mk2 as well as the Mk3, you'll see TSOs, which stand for tourist second open. So with the Mk2 coaches, there's two types of first class coach. You have the FK, which is the first corridor, and the FO, which is the first open. Then you have TSO, which is the second class, which stands for, like I said earlier, tourist second open. Then you have brake variants of these. There's the BSO, which is the brake second open, and then there's the BFK, which is the brake first corridor. And then there's also a number of Pullman coaches. There's a PB, which is a brake. And then there's PK, which I think is the kitchen, and PC, which is the catering. So I'm not going to worry too much about the Pullman coaches. You can get those, but for now we're just going to focus on the standard Mk2. So if you're looking for a cheap way to have a full rake or close to full rake, the Mk2 is a little less involved than the Mk1. So in this rake we have 5. We have 2 TSOs, a 2 FKs, and then a BFK. Now if you wanted to expand this, you would probably purchase a BSO and place it here between the TSO and the class 25 here that's pulling it. If I was also going to expand this, I would probably purchase maybe 1 or 2 more TSOs. Typical Mk2 configuration would have maybe 4 or 6 TSOs in a rake. In case if you're not familiar with the term rake, rake is basically what you call the whole train and configuration of the coaches. And now once again, since BR did a lot of stuff on a regional basis, and things changed based on routes as well as other requirements on the train, you're going to have to look at photographs or video from the area you're trying to model and the area that you're trying to model, just because the variants are going to be different from point to point. Now with this configuration, it's a pretty standard configuration, so if you're looking for something generic that will look pretty realistic and work pretty much anything, this is a good starting point. So this particular configuration, like I said, is TSO, TSO, and then you have the FK, FK, and then BFK. And obviously if you wanted to extend it, there's the options of the Pullman coaches, the BSO, and probably additional TSOs there would be the way I would suggest that you go. And so with that, we're going to just go ahead and let you watch us go around the layout a few times. just so you can get an idea of the configuration and so on.